Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So tonight we're going to talk about Bella Thorne. Whoopi Goldberg. I know that seems weird for this channel. But there's a bigger question that I think is being missed in this little scandal. Now, if you're not familiar with what happened, Bella Thorne apparently took some intimate photos, and they were stored on the cloud. She was hacked. The hacker threatened to blackmail her with them. So like a boss, she just put them on Twitter herself. Then Whoopi Goldberg basically made the statement that if you're a celebrity in 2019, you should know better than this. That you're gonna get hacked, and this is gonna happen if you put these kind of images out there. You shouldn't take these types of photos. That's a troubling statement. And I know right now somebody's saying, no, that's the way it is, the way of the world right now. Let me try to put this in another way. She's a victim of a crime. Now, if the hacker had taken photos of her at a birthday party, would this be said? No. So when you actually dissect this statement, well, because of what she was wearing, she was asking for it. That's a pretty troubling statement, and that's what the main debate is over. But there is a much bigger question. Before we get into it, I want to say that Miss Thorne has every right to feel violated. Her privacy was violated. She's a victim of a crime. And nothing I'm about to say is meant to suggest she shouldn't feel violated. But I don't feel that she should feel shame. What's the motivation behind blackmail? You're going to do what I say, I'm going to create a scandal, right? Okay. Now, I've made a point not to look at the photos. But I had a journalist friend who was a woman, because somehow that felt less invasive. Look at them and just kind of tell me what they were. And they are the same photos that almost everybody under the age of 30 has taken. Why is this a scandal? This is extremely common behavior. This is something that almost every young person does. Yes, even your princess. This is really common, but it's a scandal. Millions of people did this today. It's a scandal because we have unrealistic expectations of people who are in the public eye. We have unrealistic expectations of celebrities. Their actions, when they do something that is completely normal, simply because they're in the limelight, oh, well, it's a scandal. It's a little ridiculous. I don't feel that simply because somebody's in films or a musician that they need to lead a life without incident. I mean, that's a little ridiculous. And normal behavior gets stigmatized to insane degrees at times. I watched a TED Talk by Jenna Hayes. And if you're not familiar with her, she's an adult actress, was an adult actress. And after she left that industry, a major bank closed her account because they didn't want to be associated with it. In this day and age, when it's everywhere, when it is something that is extremely common and used by almost everybody, there's still that stigma. And that's the same thing that happened here. Miss Thorne did something that was extremely common, and yet she's suffering some stigma because of it. Oh, she should have known better. Whatever. those unrealistic expectations extend into beauty as well. We expect those in the public eye to be perfect at all times. And I'm not sure if this played into it in her case, but I had a friend who had her intimate photos leaked by an ex. And she felt violated and betrayed, as she should. But her main concern, and the thing that really bothered her, was in one of the photos, she had a love handle. That's very telling about our society. That something like that is the concern. Because we have to have this Instagram image of perfect, right? Everything has to be like that. We have to have a fake life because it's all broadcast. Everything's on social media. So everybody becomes in the public eye. And we compare ourselves to those perfect people in Hollywood. And maybe that's part of the reason why we enjoy these scandals so much. Well, they made a mistake too. It's okay. There's no mistake here. She didn't do anything wrong. So, how can we counter this? You have to remove the reasoning behind blackmail. And that's that it's going to cause a scandal. When you do that, you remove the power, you remove the motivation, the monetary motivation, and then these hacks really don't happen as much. So rather than turn each time a celebrity's nudes get leaked into some major event, instead, don't. It's the human body. You've probably taken nude photos. It's no big deal. You're talking about consenting adults exchanging images of themselves. This is not a big deal. And if we can remove that scandal and treat these leaks the same way we would if suddenly somebody said, well, Bella Thorne went to Walmart, the motivation's gone. And then those violations don't happen. Don't turn this into a scandal. It's not. She didn't do anything wrong, and she certainly didn't do anything wrong simply because of the way she was dressed. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.